main aim of boxing is to execute clean punches to the opponent without being punched yourself. Punching using jabs, crosses, hooks and uppercuts are rapid whole body and multiplanar movements that accelerate the fist towards the opponent's head or torso. The ability to punch with a high impact force is beneficial to boxers because there is an increased likelihood of success. Through influencing the judge's perception of a clean punch, through impairing the fighting ability of the opponent, and through producing a knockdown or knockout. Although technique is likely to play a major role in punch impact force, the capabilities of the neuromuscular system, i.e. muscular strength, may also be a limiting factor. Based on the article titled The Role of Strength on Punch Impact Force in Boxing by Kris Beattie and Ruddock, this presentation brought to you by Talking Sports Science will be a summary of their resistance training recommendations to develop the ability to punch with a high impact force. Before we delve into the practical recommendations, we need to define some strength terms. First of all, maximal strength. Maximal strength refers to the ability to voluntarily generate maximum force without a time constraint. Elite boxers who punch with high impact forces have greater levels of lower body maximal strength in comparison to boxers who generate less punching force. It is worth noting that punch impact force is associated with maximal strength of the lower body, but not the upper body. Moving on to explosive strength. Explosive strength is a coaching term used to describe an athlete's ability to exert maximal force in minimal time, i.e. rate of force development. Explosive strength in both the lower and upper body is largely associated with punch impact force in elite boxers. Elite boxers who punch with high impact forces have significantly greater levels of lower body explosive strength when compared with boxers who punch with low impact forces. And last but not least, special strength. Special strength training applies the principle of specificity, and using specialised resistance exercises aims to improve sports performance, in this case, punching ability. Now that we have defined the different strength terms, we are now going to review the strength training recommendations over a fight camp. In terms of progression, a simple linear loading progression provides a sound programming strategy for maximal strength development in boxers who have a limited strength training history. We are now going to start off with looking at the general preparatory phase. During the early stages of camp, or the off-season, there may be an initial period where loading is below 80% of one repetition maximum. During this phase, it is recommended to use between 8 to 12 repetitions and between 3 to 5 sets. These hypertrophic loading schemes are to provide the boxer with a foundational level of strength. However, due to weight classifications, trainers should be cautious when implementing a hypertrophic stimulus. This is a particularly important consideration during the early stages of camp, when the boxer may be consuming more calories. Moving on to the specific preparatory phases. In terms of maximal strength, during the specific preparatory phases of a camp, to develop maximal leg strength capabilities, a load above 80% of one repetition maximum is recommended. In terms of volume, between 3 to 5 reps for 3 to 5 sets is ideal. When it comes to exercise selection, it is recommended to use traditional multi-point exercises, such as the squat variations, for example goblet squat, landmine squat or back squat, and deadlift variations, for example trap bar deadlift. However, if a boxer is unable to perform these bilateral exercises because of mobility restrictions or an injury or a lack of technical competency, single leg exercises such as split squats or lunges can provide an adequate unilateral alternative. For boxers who have an advanced strength training age, partial lifts such as half squats or quarter squats, or trap bar deadlifts from the blocks can be progressively introduced to supplement explosive strength adaptations and the potential transferability to punching impact force. Moving on to explosive strength, as some boxers may not have a consistent strength training history, a maximal strength emphasised training program supplemented with low volume explosive strength work may be an option to develop explosive strength before specificity is accentuated. Example explosive strength exercises include counter movement jumps or medicine ball throws. These exercises are time efficient and can be performed before or between sets of maximal strength exercises. Moving on to special strength. Special strength exercises can be implemented at specific stages of a camp in order to increase the transfer to punch impact force. As straights, hooks and uppercuts require a rapid whole body rate of force development movement in multiple planes, exercises such as medicine ball throws and landmine punches can be used to replicate these punches. Similar to an effective punch, these exercises require force to be rapidly generated from the legs and transferred through the trunk, shoulders and arms. Also, there is evidence to suggest that there may be a double peak in muscle activation during the final stage of an effective punch. Therefore, specific exercises such as isometric holds at the terminal part of a punch or an isometric landmine press can be prescribed to increase the transferability to punch impact force. Moving on to the final weeks of camp. Here, sparring becomes a priority. As the boxer is exposed to an energy deficit for weigh-ins, low volume concentric lifts, for example concentric quarter squats, or isometric lifts, for example isometric squats, isometric mid-thigh pulls, or isometric trap bar deadlifts can be performed. The aim of these exercises is to maintain maximum strength while reducing the likelihood of muscle soreness and fatigue. Now let's look at how these different aspects of strength can be monitored. Maximum strength can be monitored at selected time points throughout the training camp by using isometric assessments, repetition maximum, or submaximal load velocity predictive equations. For explosive strength, throughout a fight camp it is recommended to regularly monitor counter movement jump variables, for example jump height and the modified reactive strength index. This can be done by using force platforms, contact mats or mobile apps. By doing so may help trainers to gain an insight into the boxer's lower limb explosive strength adaptations. Additionally, the bench press throw or seated medicine ball throw can be used to monitor the explosive strength adaptations of the boxer's upper body. And that leaves us with special strength training. A boxer's special strength can be monitored throughout the training camp by using the landmine punch throw assessment. This test assesses the boxer's ability to produce a high impulse in a movement pattern similar to a cross. During the landmine punch throw, barbell velocity can be measured over a series of loads, i.e. between 20 and 40 kilograms, using a linear position transducer or accelerometer. Alternatively, a 3 kilogram medicine ball backhand throw for distance can be used as a replacement field-based test. And that concludes looking into the role of strength on punch impact force in boxing. Hope you found that useful, folks. This presentation was brought to you by Talking Sports Science. Thanks for listening. See you next time.